Hi, it's Christa at the Secret Yarnery. Welcome to Crochet Podcast, episode 178. Yay! Thanks so much for inviting me over. It is New Year's Eve. I can't believe it. 2025 has come to a close. Wow. I really feel like I was just getting going. But I'm super excited for 2026. Today, I'm going to share with you everything I crocheted in 2025. Yes, it was a lot. I did a numbered list actually. Like I typed it all out and then I put like, you can bullet point something or number something. I did that. I picked numbers. There is 43. I made 43 patterns this year. That's a bit. That's a lot. So here we go. I'm starting not alphabetical. I'm starting chronological. So this is what I made in order in 2025. Now, if you've made any of these, let me know or let all of us know in the comments how it turned out. And I can't wait to get started. Okay, so I wrote it all out. Starting with the first one. Oh, I should also say, these are already tutorials on my channel, obviously. Well, maybe it's not obvious if you're new to the Secret Yarnery. They're already tutorials on my channel. And if you want the written patterns, I've made bundles. So I've made a bundle for everything I made in 2025, which is a lot, all 43 patterns. So I'll tell you about that as we go along. But it's also linked in the description if you're interested in that. And it does help me a lot. So I appreciate you in advance. Now, starting with the first thing I made in 2025, Hawaiian flower bag charms. These are adorable for backpacks, purses, keychains, anywhere where you want a really pretty flower. Then I made a stunning diamond cupcake scarf. I love it. Now, this was actually a UFO I had in my unfinished object. So I keep what I haven't finished and I still want to finish in like zipper bags. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's this doing here? It was waiting to be filmed. So I'm like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to film it so I can finish it so I can wear it. It is gorgeous. The colors are great. The yarn's great. It's so beautiful. So that is the diamond cupcake scarf. It's also kind of like a wrap. Then we got on to the fastest crochet heart. So those are just those cute, tiny little crochet hearts. Really, really fast to work up. It's just a bunch of stitches, cinch it together, knot it, tie it, you're good. It's very fast and easy. Then we did the crochet heart granny squares. So turning the hearts into granny squares. It was a whole theme for me last year of like figuring it out how to make a crochet heart, like a solid crochet heart into a granny square, and then like a granny square heart into a granny square, and then with a solid edge, and then anyway, let me tell you in order. It was a thing. It was a challenge. Challenge accepted. Challenge won. Victory on this one. So crochet heart granny square, solid granny square heart, and then heart granny squares. So all of those. Then I did a marigold keychain. So that is fun and easy. Then I got into Easter stuff. So I did the cutest crochet carrot. I made 2 carrots and they're both cute. It was hard to name them. One has like you chain the ends, you make like fronds, and the other one you just make loops of yarn. You have chenille yarn. Then I crocheted carrots. So the first one is the cutest carrot. It has fronds coming out. So you crochet some fronds or the carrot leaves. Easy, easy, easy. Nothing tricky. And then you build your carrot. And even the top of the carrot, like it's perfect. It's really, really good. So that is the cutest carrot. Then I made the crochet bows. So that just goes on anything. It goes on wreaths. It goes on presents. It goes on coffee cups. It goes on anything. Anywhere you want to put a bow, barrettes, hair bands, anything. Easiest crochet bow, definitely. You can finish it off with the 2 tails to tie them wherever you want it to be. I made the Wandering Granny Crochet Blanket. One of my favorite blankets ever. Number 1, I love the yarn. Number 2, the stitch. I've done a lot of granny stitches, like, my Drunken Granny series. I've done a lot of them. The Wandering is amazing. It's like up and down. Like, you know what you're doing. From the second row, you know what you're doing. So definitely a favorite pattern of mine. Then we started with the amazing Flower Bouquet Blanket. So that is one of those epic blankets where you cinch it up and it turns into a fabulous bouquet right in your arms. So that was great. And it was also very educational, like how to make a perfect circle. I learned a lot from making that tutorial. And then also I did a Wandering Granny shawl, which is just part of my daily wardrobe. I wear that shawl the most of anything I've ever crocheted. I made it with a gorgeous cotton yarn and it's dreamy. It's so nice. So I definitely love that a lot. And then next I made an emotional support crochet shawl. So there's some comments underneath the blanket being like, wouldn't it be great if it was a shawl so we could wear it instead of like carrying a blanket around? So I'm like, that is such a good idea. So we made a shawl with the flowers on the bottom, and then it's an emotional support shawl instead of an emotional support chicken or anything like that. So it just kind of fits in your arm, and it is a massive, draping, gorgeous bouquet of roses. Whatever your favorite colors are, that's what color you make your roses. So that is definitely another one of my favorite things I've probably ever made. Then I did a crochet tote bag cover. This is fantastic. It's C2C, just the panels match the size of your tote bags. Just go buy a tote bag. The tote bag that I used is linked in the video description of the tutorial, and it's also linked in the written pattern. So if you wanted to go grab the exact same one and do the exact same bag cover, you can. It's the exact same bag. Then there's the Easy Crochet bucket hat, because I'm like, wouldn't a bucket hat be so cute with the tote bag? So that is great, and that's also how I learned like hat sizing in an easy way. So I love that hat. It's so fun and just cheery, like it just makes everything better. I did a Minecraft crochet can cozy in 4 different sizes, so whatever size can you have, you're gonna slide your cozy over top, and they're great. Really squishy, dense stitch, but also fast and easy. Ooh, then we're on to number 18 already. The spiked granny stitch square. Great. Problem with spiked granny stitch squares is you can only get up to like row 5 before they lose their shape. So this pattern kind of fixes that. You can get a little bit bigger, and it's beautiful. They're gorgeous. Then I made a flower bouquet bag because I was like, wouldn't it be so cute to have like a little gift bag, like a flower bouquet gift bag that you could just cinch up, you could put something inside, gift it, or just use it as like an evening purse or whatever. But that is such a cute way of gifting something in a homemade way. So I love that one. So cute. Then I made bottle cozies in 2 sizes. So this was kind of thinking like if you're going camping or boating, you don't want, your drinks are, they get wet on the outside, and then they're also, your hand gets cold and your drink gets warm. So this just kind of keeps it all together. Plus, it's like a built-in coaster, so you don't get any of those watermarks. I just use regular acrylic yarn. You could use cotton if you felt like it. Just use whatever you have on hand. They work up really great. Then my crochet poncho for beginners. This matches the bag. It matches the bucket hat. It's such a cute little set. You can wear it 2 different ways, and you can also make it any size. So fun, and like changing colors is just enough difference or something changing to keep you motivated while you're crocheting it. So I really enjoyed making that poncho. And then that pesky bulky yarn. I know we all want to buy it. We all probably have it. And then you're like, you buy it, and like, oh my gosh, what do I do with it? You know what I'm talking about? That like they call it baby chenille or something, but it's like the super chunky size 6 chenille yarn that you kind of end up being stuck with. Well, I found a great stitch to do where it's not just one stitch, it's not boring, it still looks interesting, still looks like you did something, but it is a great stitch for making that yarn into a blanket. Plus, I show you how to join a new ball of yarn. So that is a really good blanket as well. Very heavy. It's really good for a weighted blanket if you know anyone who likes weighted blankets. And then there's the flower bouquet poncho. I was like, oh my gosh, I could do the poncho and then I could put the flower bouquet on it. So I did that as well. And it is really fun, swishy. It's a lovely poncho. And then I went on a granny square bender. So I started off with the log cabin granny square. Now, log cabin, it's a bit of a touchy subject for me because as a sewer, like a retired quilter, not really, a retired quilter, no, I'm a quilter on hiatus. I'm just taking a break from it. I love sewing. I haven't sewed so long, I didn't know how to thread my machine. I put the thread through the wrong way. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? That's how long. For years, I have not threaded my machine. I get big balls of thread. So even if I do so. Anyway, side topic. Let me get back to it. log cabins should be a particular way. So it's a rectangle of fabric, and then the other side is another rectangle. And in crochet patterns, lots of the time, they do two sides with the color, not just the one side. So I'm like, that's not a log cabin. So I did, the technical version of it, I suppose. Log cabin granny square. Beautiful colors. I loved it. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, I should do all the granny squares. Just so there's like a series of granny squares that you can all mix and match. So I did the striped granny square. So that's just stripes going back and forth. I also did the diagonal one on a diagonal. And then someone asked me if I could help them with a pattern on Etsy. And I'm like, I can't help you with a pattern on Etsy because it's not my pattern. It was someone else's pattern. And they gave me permission to help the person, but no, like, I just don't find it's not ethical. So I'm like, I could make my own, like I could try to figure it out. So it took me a while, but I figured out how to make Mickey Mouse inspired granny squares. It's not Mickey Mouse, but there's definitely 3 circles put together and then turned into an actual square. The problem with other patterns that I've seen is they're not square, they're rectangular. And I wanted my stitch count to be the same going across and going up. So that was the tricky part. That's what took the time, the effort, but I got it to work out into a perfect square, and they are charming and so cute. But what I really wanted to do, because if you've been watching my channel, I'm not really a red and black and yellow person. I'm more of like a hot pink person. I'm like, I want to do an Andy Warhol inspired Mickey Mouse blanket. Like the Marilyn Monroe pictures where it's like Marilyn, all like there's 9 Marilyns or something, or 12 Marilyns, and each of them is like a different color, but it's the same picture. I wanted to do that, but with Mickey Mouse in neon colors, like super 80s kind of, or 60s to 80s, a blend of those two, a blend of the 60s and the 80s into this fantastic Mickey Mouse inspired, or Andy Warhol inspired Mickey Mouse crochet blanket with the most gorgeous border, because it had to have a border on it. It's Marilyn, or it's Mickey Mouse, but it's like that look. It had to be finished off. So that pattern is fantastic. I'm super proud of it. I love it. It's my favorite. The only thing I regret is not making it bigger. I just made, you make something so good and you're like, I should have made it queen size. But then like, I didn't have the time. I mean, I did have 42 other patterns to make, but I love it. I love it. It's like definitely one of my favorite things. Then back to my granny squares. I did a stacking A-frame granny squares, which other people call log cabin, but that is where you do the crochet on 2 sides and then 2 sides. So stacking A-frame granny square. I did an amazing flat braid join inspired border for the Secret Stitches Cal. That is a blanket we did together in 2021. And the border has been in my mind of what I want it to look like, but I didn't get around to it. I wasn't sure. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I know what I want. I know what I want it to look like. And then it took me a while. It took me a lot of tries, but I got it so great. It's a gorgeous border. You can also use it on any blanket. It doesn't have to be on the Secret Stitches blanket, but it is fantastic. Inspired by the flat braid join. So whatever blanket you joined in flat braid join, that would be the border for it, because it is gorgeous and matches. It just makes everything look great. So I love that border. Next is easy 1-color bucket hat. So that is if you want to make a bucket hat, but you don't want to change color. And that also started another epic adventure, which was the granny stitch scarf. But what was bothering me about it, because I wanted to make the hat and I wanted to make a wide kind of scarf to match it in granny stitch. But the beginning of it was awful. You start into that chain, you're like every 3rd chain, make your 3 double crochets, skip 2 3 double crochets all along your chain. Your chain looks awful. The beginning of your pattern looks awful. I tried a bunch of ways of getting it so the beginning would look the same or better than the end. I thought I got it. I didn't. I had it going. I'm like, well, it's okay. It's a compromise. I worked back into the same spot of the chain and I'm like, it's okay. It's just the beginning. And then I'm like, it's not okay. I want it to be perfect. So frogged it all back. Well, I think I still have it. I didn't frog it. I kept it to show you in a podcast, but I came up with the best way of starting your granny stitch rows so that the first row matches your last row and it looks fantastic. Nothing's pushed out of the way. Nothing's distorted. It's great. So that is the Easy Granite Stitch scarf, which goes with the one color bucket hat. Now we're getting close to October-ish. A few months ago it was Diwali, so I made giant marigolds. They are super fun, just kind of have around, and they add a lot of color and fun to the season. And that turned into, when I asked my daughter what it was, she was like, "Is it a pumpkin?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's not a pumpkin." But then she's like, "But look, it could be a pumpkin." So then I changed the pattern, like I altered it a bit and I also made pumpkins. They're my favorite pumpkins, no stuff pumpkin. So fun. It's like textury, knobbly. It's very like cottagey. They're so fun to do. But then that one got me in to the next one, which is my Halloween crochet brain. Yeah, I made crochet brains this year. So fun. I'm like, who doesn't need a brain? I mean, yes, we do, but in a jar, yes. So I made a brain. I got a big glass jar to put it in. So I actually have a pickled brain. I love it. I have about 5, but all different colors. Trying to find the right brain color in yarn, not as easy as one would think, but I did it. So the crochet brain, fantastic, super fun, like just to have around, like as what's that? Like, it's pretty fun. Then I made a super fun crochet Santa hat with chenille yarn for the trim. So if you have red yarn and chenille yarn, you can make your Santa hats, including the pom-poms. It's not like a store-bought pom-pom. You make the pom-pom as part of the pattern or part of the tutorial. And then another one that's been bothering me for so many years, how to do an easy Christmas wreath. I don't want to do a hard Christmas wreath. I don't want to do like a stressful Christmas wreath. It's a Christmas wreath. I want it to be relaxing, fun, cute, pretty, fast, and easy. Nothing stressful about it. So this year I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do it. This is how we're going to do it. So I did it. We have the easiest crochet Christmas wreath. I've also been challenged to come up with seasonal wreaths this year. So we're probably going to be doing one for Easter. And then what seasons are there? Spring, summer, winter, fall, something like that. So that's going to be coming up, hopefully, because I'm really liking making them. They're really fun and easy. So that's the crochet wreath. Then I did a Christmas tree skirt. Also been on my list of things. I make them for myself, but my edges weren't straight. And I'm like, I can't tell you how to do it until I figure out how to guarantee you have straight edges. So this year I feel like it's an achievement. Like I achieved it. I got my Christmas tree skirt pattern done. It's fantastic. Straight edges, easy to do, and you can just keep making it until it's the size you want for your tree. Then for people who want to make a Santa hat but only have acrylic yarn, I made a deluxe Santa hat, which is funny because deluxe should have chenille yarn, but it's even deluxe with regular worsted weight acrylic yarn in white and red. Super fun, very fluffy, nice trim on it, easy to do, no stress, and you get a really cute, fun, and fast crochet Santa hat. Then poinsettia coasters. I know there's a lot, right? Poinsettia coasters. That was tricky finding the right colors because poinsettias do have like a yellow center and then yellow isn't really Christmassy. So you have to find like the right shade of yellow for it. You could just use white if you wanted it to be more traditional Christmas, like a white center and then the green and then the red. But those are really cute and easy to do. Good for stash busting. It's like 11 grams of yarn, or it's very small amounts of yarn for that. And then bath scrubbies. Like if you can chain, you can make a bath scrubby. That is what I want. That's my goal. So DIY bath scrubbies also make a super great last minute gift. And everybody can kind of use a bath scrubby. They're good to have around. So that is one of the things I made this year. Then there is a wine bottle gift bag. Another thing that people have been asking me, but if you're bringing a bottle of wine or a bottle of spirits to somebody's house, some champagne, it's good to just put it in something cute like that and then take it with you. So that's another great pattern. And then the easiest crochet hat for beginners. I had some soccer boys. If you don't know, my boys play soccer. So some of their teammates were like, "Can you teach me to crochet?" And I was like, "Sure." And then they came over and they were crocheting great. And they came back like a couple days later and they were like, both of them like, "Can you teach me how to make a hat?" And they had just started doing like swatches and their edges weren't straight yet. They were like missing stitches at the ends and beginnings of your rows. And I'm like, okay, they're pretty good at the stitches, but they're, not yet. So I'm like, I'm just going to do a spiral and we're going to do this and going to do that. And one boy could do double crochet. One boy was only on half double crochet. And I'm like, If you can single crochet, you could wrap your yarn first and then do half double crochet. And then you could make a hat just by just going around doing your half double crochet. You end up with a hat, chaining and half double crochet. So that's what we did. And then I'm like, that's a really good idea. So I made a tutorial for you so you could also make your first hat. Or if someone's asking or like just learning to crochet and they've just learned like 2 stitches, like single crochet and then wrapping the yarn first for half double crochet, they could make themselves a hat. It's 1 ball of yarn. You could just get them going and then they can just practice their stitches until they've made their hat. So that turned out super great. I'm so proud of those boys. And I think that is everything I crocheted in 2025. So what's your favorite? What have you made? And what do you want to crochet in 2026? Let me know in the comments, and I'm waiting for you in that video up there. Stay hooked.